Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Life Is Limitless Podcast. Today I have the honor of sitting with three ladies here on the other side, the first time ever for this podcast. And I'm definitely looking forward to it because we are going to be talking about a meaningful event and some meaningful messages that we'd like to get across today. And today I have Michelle King, who's the Executive Director of the Saskatoon Indian and Métis Friendship Center. I also have Celeste Cook, the mother of Devan, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you very much. And we have Hailey Boechler, the founder of Haircuts for Hope, and also works at Straight Up. And I also have in my description here is a recovering addict and lived on the streets for a few years and has had some situations with friends, unfortunately, passing due to some overdoses and things of that matter. First of all, I want to thank everyone who's going to be tuning in to this episode. I feel like it's not going to be anything different than the other ones. I feel like we're going to have some real conversations. At least I can count on myself probably getting close to the emotional line because I normally do every episode. But very thankful to have all three of you ladies on here together today. And I just appreciate what you guys are going to be putting together and why you guys are here today.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So maybe because there's three of you, I can try and help direct a little bit more, so we kind of stay on track with everything. Hailey, let's start with you a little bit, if you don't mind. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the event that is taking place here fairly soon?
Yeah, so I'm Hailey, obviously, and I'm a journeyman hairstylist, and I also work at Straight Up, and I do a little bit of recovery advocate work. So my own lived experience is a big part of why this event means so much to me. I spent years struggling with addiction, homelessness, and the challenges that come with that. I lost quite a few friends to overdose over the years. And I've also seen firsthand how important community, support, and compassion can be when someone is trying to find their way forward. And so Haircuts for Hope was created from that lived experience, and it's a way to bring people together. It provides people with dignity through free haircuts and connects people to local organizations and resources. We'd like to try to reduce the stigma around it all and raise funds for the Saskatoon Indian and Métis Friendship Center. And so the Friendship Center plays an important role for people in our community experiencing poverty, homelessness, addiction. And so that's a big part of why I asked Michelle here if we could maybe do something because there's a big crisis going on in our city right now, and I think it's also super important to have Celeste here because Devan's story is important, and so are many other people whose lives have been lost due to addiction, and so I really appreciate her for being here and being vulnerable. And Devan also utilized the services at the Friendship Center as well, and so that was kind of my main reason behind this. And so, yeah, the event is a great day. We bring together local organizations to set up the resources, and we like to try to connect those in the community to those resources. We also bring together hairstylists, barbers, estheticians to provide free haircuts and beauty services to those who may not get access to those things. And it's really a way of starting a connection and a conversation with them, helping them feel valued and seen. And we also do lots of fun things like a silent auction. We have live music. We have a barbecue to feed the community, free barbecue. We also have like kids games and activities and stuff like that. And so, I feel like compassion sometimes is missing in the community, and so that's what this is really trying to do, and providing hope to those who are struggling. We just want them to feel valued and seen, and I know how important that is because I myself have been through hell and back, and I've also been blessed with lots of kindness, and so that's what I hope to provide for those in the community that are struggling. And so, the event takes place on August 30th from 10 o'clock to 5 p.m. It's going to be a great day. And last year we had a pretty good turnout. It was amazing. I was actually blown away. I didn't know what to expect. I thought maybe if we meet 50 people who come in here, that's amazing. But we had hundreds and hundreds of people come in last year. We did about 200 beauty services. We actually had to turn people away at the end because we were just running out of time. We fed about 600 people, which we ran out of food halfway through. So then somebody generously donated more money to go pick up some more food. And so, we kept that going. But it was just an incredible day. And so I'm really looking forward to what this year brings. So, yeah.
Well, that's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for being real and honest about that.
Thanks.
I said probably touch on some emotional topics, and I can already feel myself getting teary-eyed, so it didn't take long at all for sure. But thank you very much. That's a beautiful, beautiful event, and to help so many. And quite frankly, like you said, if you had 50 people come to your guys' event, that would have been a success last year, let alone the hundreds that came to the event and were helped, taken care of, fed, watered, all those beautiful things that not everyone gets every single day, every single meal, every single moment. To be heard, seen, and acknowledged, I think is a lot of times, unless you're in this kind of line of work or unless you've been on the other side, I don't think we always credit how important that truly is for people. To, sometimes they're going through tough barriers in life, and sometimes to be acknowledged is simply all a person needs to keep moving forward. So thank you for that. Hailey, can I ask, what would be the absolute desired takeaway you would want from this year's event, as being this is the second annual event, and the plans all obviously are to continue a few years moving forward, of course, right? Until this event just keeps going and seeing what happens with it, right?
Yeah, so I want people to understand that just because someone may be struggling with addiction or homelessness or poverty, that doesn't define someone's worth. Every person has a story. Every person in this world has value. And every person deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. And I also hope people leave with a better understanding of the resources and support available in our community. So many people don't know where to turn when they're struggling. And if this event helps connect even one person to a support, then we've done our job. And I want people to leave with hope. That's why it's called Haircuts for Hope. Whether it be someone receiving a service or a mom who has a child struggling with addiction, or somebody that's personally struggling themselves. I just want people to find a little bit of hope that day, because really, like last year, that's what it brought for me. Just seeing everyone coming together as a community and being here for the same reasons. I just want people to know that they're not alone, and that there is support out there, and that people care for them. And I'd like to reduce some stigma around this issue as well. And so that's my desired takeaway from this event.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for that. I do love the name. Our second daughter's name is Hope, actually, and so it's got a very special meaning. And I too, as well, have lived experiences myself of living through addictions. I think I was 11 years old when I got into addictions myself, up until in my middle 20s. So I can understand that if a person has like I said, a little bit of glimpse of the light on the end of the tunnel, it makes that effort a little bit more stronger for that person to pull through.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the community came out last year, most definitely, and so the community is already coming out this year as well too. Yeah. So the Indian Friendship Center, of course, here with Michelle, you definitely wanted to help support this event last year. What are you guys looking forward to having as community support this year? Do you guys have more organizations and things a part of it?
So the event was sort of conceived together, like in collaboration.
Okay.
We had lost Devan, our relative, and Celeste's son. We were devastated here at the Friendship Center. Celeste was unknown to me at that time, and so was Hailey. And in the aftermath of that, Hailey reached out and said, "I want to do something. Like I want to do something in the community." And Hailey told this beautiful story about Devan, that no matter what the circumstances were, where he was with his addiction, he always looked good, and he always placed pride in his physical appearance, and that it stuck with her. And there's another story that is Hailey shared with why that is important to look good when you're recovering.
Yeah.
And so we met that first time, and I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I didn't know Hailey, and I thought, oh, this young lady's just like reaching out, and like, what are we going to do? And so we met, and I said, listen, we talked on the phone first, and I said, I believe in going big or going home. So
I love it.
we're taking this to the nth degree, and we had a really big plan that we executed very well, and Hailey was like the most integral part of that, because she was just so dedicated and fearless, and she brought different groups of people to the center that we didn't normally work with, and so we were all amazed in the end. In the end of the event, everybody was just taken back. And something, for Hailey, she wouldn't maybe know that we could easily have 500 people show up here for something. Like, that's something that the Friendship Center is used to, but I don't think we ever conveyed that. And, we are a place, we had a warming space that winter that Devan did utilize, and he used the Friendship Center as his address. And ironically, after his passing, his driver's license had arrived here that we were able to pass on to Celeste. And we are an address for a lot of people. And so from the Friendship Center's perspective, every single day we have people coming that are so marginalized, so barriered, falling through the cracks, their basic needs aren't met, and we don't have funds for that. There's no program that says, hey, you can buy these things for unhoused people, really. So this event helps put some money into the center so that when we see, as an example, we get donations all the time, which we utilize, and we give directly back into the hands of our relatives. But sometimes there's a shortage, like deodorant or lotion, or we have a surplus of feminine hygiene products, but there may be a time when we don't have those things, or toothbrushes, or whatever that is. Umbrellas.
Or toilet paper for the center for people to utilize.
Right. And so I'm able to use those unrestricted funds that we have raised to purchase the things that we need to get in the hands. So we rely on those donations. We put together kits of all kinds for hygiene, but with this money lets me, the other day, well, it was maybe a couple weeks ago now, I bought $400 worth of deodorant. And deodorant is really expensive. Yes. And we have people who are not only unhoused, but are in precarious situations that are leaving domestic violence situations, and they don't have sanitary napkins for their daughters or deodorant, and that's a barrier to even attend school. That brings shame. So what we did and the people that we worked with, I think it shocked and surprised. Hailey's stepdad said, wow, I just don't know what I was expecting, but this was incredible. It was everything from unhoused people that were being wheeled in wheelchairs, people that lived in care homes, people that lived in shelters, to families that couldn't afford. And that's why we wanted to have the event at the end of August, so that kids could have a fresh haircut before they get their school pictures taken in September, because that really is about that self-esteem and creating equal access to services. And, we had the Red Rum Motorcycle Club. It's all Indigenous men, and they served. They cooked the foods, and their wives came with them. And when we ran out of food, they pulled money out of their pockets, and we ran to the store and we bought more food. And just the presence of those men changed the entire dynamic. There was no unrest. There was no disrespect. There was just absolute engagement, joy, and we made the space welcome for everyone, so that no matter how you came, how you presented, you were celebrated and you were welcome, and we shared a meal and we offered what we could here in the gymnasium. And so it was just the most incredible day, actually, and it was born out of so much circumstance. And it's now brought us together, and Hailey is my good friend now, and now she's my hairdresser and my daughters, and so we've just grown together, and Celeste has now come on board in a bigger capacity this year, and it's just a beautiful thing for a beautiful reason.
Well, I love that. Thank you so much, Michelle. I know, for events like this, if a community doesn't come together, these events don't happen, for sure. It takes all sorts of different pockets of resources for people to come and pitch in, put in, volunteer, offer some time, offer some hands, because if those hands and those resources aren't offered, these events just simply cannot happen by one person. But it definitely does take a team like you three ladies to come, together and really start spearheading, and it's a beautiful thing, for sure. If I'm not, booked up for that day, I'd love to be there. I'd love to help flip burgers. I'd love to help out, hand out things, whatever I can do. And a promise from my end as well is I'm going to find whatever resources I can find for merchandise, books, whatever else. I'll buy, as much deodorant sticks as my wallet will allow me at this time. And I'm going to ship you guys a nice big box, or I'm going to come and deliver that myself that day of.
Yeah. I normally try not to interject because it's bad manners, but I just want to in this moment, because when you're talking about, bringing merchandise, and so for those of you that are listening, one of the biggest things I learned through experience of working here that we need, besides deodorant and lotion, because those are the things people donate the last, is socks and underwear. And
socks and underwear.
I knew that from firsthand experience. I think I had shared that with you last year. And then somebody else that I work with in the community that I used to teach, actually, that has lived experience with homelessness, was speaking at an event when we were doing the pit count. And she said she remembered fleeing a domestic violence situation and going to work the next day like nothing had happened, and not having clean socks and underwear, and the shame and humiliation that she felt, where she knew that nobody knew that her underwear and socks weren't cleaned, but she felt terrible about that every single day. And so we do have women that come, families, and we try as much as we can to make sure that they have access to clean socks and underwear. And I know it seems like such a small thing, but they're expensive, and it's hard to have access to those things. And so we do have people sometimes come and just drop their dirty socks in our lobby and put on a clean pair and leave, And so for people that are listening, Socks and underwear are one of the biggest things, and deodorant, of course, and lotion and other hygiene items as well,
Beautiful.
So I just had to throw that in there.
No, thank you very much. This is about awareness, right? This is about what resources, what commitments, what energy we can put towards this event, and everything else that all this stands for as well, to make this as big of an impact as possible. And so for those who are listening, please listen to Michelle about those resources that can definitely be used, because for somebody who has a place that they go every night, they lay their head down, they wake up, they have their shower in their bedroom or their house. We don't think of these things all the time. So please, if you have a moment, if you have the time, you have the resources, stop by the center, and I know a lot of people would benefit from that. So thank you, Michelle, for sure. Let me see here. Now, Celeste, I would love to chat with you if that's okay.
Of course.
So thank you for, of course, being a part of this conversation together as well too. Now, Celeste, your son Devan, we chatted briefly about him. You mind giving us maybe a little bit more of a background?
Overview?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Devan was a middle child, quintessential middle child. My first marriage ended in a divorce, and Devan really struggled with that for a long time. So from there, in elementary school, he was acting out, and I had identified really, because there's other people on both sides of the family that have some mental health issues. So way back when he was still in elementary school, I was, bringing him to the doctor, bringing him to counselors. We did family counseling, we did all the stuff. And it just we weren't getting the answers we needed. And of course it continued into high school, where he started experimenting with drugs. I think even before then, probably, if I'm being honest, it was probably in grade 7 or 8 when he started. So then the lashing out and the extreme highs and lows, like Devan was here or here. He was never here. So again, as it's getting worse, we're going to counseling, we're going to doctors, and I'm trying to get him diagnosed. I'm trying to find out what the underlying mental health issues are. And it got to the point where he was getting to be 16, and I was actually told by our family doctor at the time that if I continued to try to get him in to get assessed for mental health, and as she put it, tried to force medication upon my child, which I wasn't. I was just looking for the resources to get him diagnosed with what maybe he had, that she would have to report me to the government, because that's what she felt at the time, was that I was just trying to medicate my child, like with ADHD or whatever. And there definitely was, and we'll never know even the extent of his mental health issues. And of course, you put that in with drug use and drinking, and it's just a hot mess, right? So that continued, and I was going through a divorce at the time. And so, of course, I'm going to back down a little bit. I'm a single mom, and I'm scared I'm going to lose my 2 children to, this doctor reporting me. So then it continues. He struggled through high school. He did the, Open Door program that was available to him here downtown Saskatoon. He did well in that. And then the last year of his school, they said, he really doesn't belong here. He's a really good kid. He comes from a good family. You guys are doing all you can. So we're going to move him back to Bishop James Mahoney. From there, he met Kelsey, and Kelsey and him got pregnant with his first daughter, Adeline. So she's about to be 10 here this September. They broke up. He spiraled again and got deeper and deeper. It was then, instead of just weed and mushrooms and drinking, it became cocaine and just worse and worse. He broke up with Kelsey and then dated Hailey briefly, who we got to meet at that point, and she really helped in being a caretaker for Adeline at a time when he was going back and forth. He was trying, he wasn't succeeding. And then from there, he has, 3 years ago, he has a 3-year-old daughter, so he's in another relationship. And that went well at first too, and then again, just the chaos of the drug use and the low self-esteem and being caught in a cycle. He just didn't see a way out. So they broke up as well. He did some time in jail, unfortunately, which the first time I would say he was not great. The second time he kind of learned, okay, I better do what I need to do. And at that point, he did do some of the drug counseling and whatnot. But I mean, from there, he bounced around. He utilized the center here. This was his second family. You know, there were people here that were, in his mind, accepted more than they would be accepted in our home. And we did come to meet some of those friends that he had at his time he spent here. And they were accepted, but he felt just that line, right? Keep his little brother and sister safe, keep them away from it. But we knew in our heart, if he was here and utilizing all the resources here, he was accepted, you know? So, and then unfortunately, on March 17th, he overdosed and passed away from, it was a mix. It was the mix of the bad batch, the first of the 2 bad batches that really hit Saskatoon. So, yeah, it is what it is, you know. He knew. I'm not the mom that, you know, thinks, can I swear in here, Cody? I'm the fuck around and find out mom, you know, law of averages. You know, he knew with me. He was honest with me. But he knew that every chance was a gamble with his life. And unfortunately, yeah, it ended how it ended. But so to have something like this and have, you know, when Hailey first heard and wanted to do an event, there was no doubt in my mind where it should be held. You know, it was really, I think, the only place I suggested. Yeah. Just like I knew, knowing my son, first thing in my mind for his funeral was his old elementary school, you know, which he used to climb up on the roof and be a little shit and get in trouble all the time, right? Like, Devan was a force to be reckoned with from the day he was born. And unfortunately, I think had some interception, helped him with the mental health issues. He maybe wouldn't have gotten deep into the drug world. So, there were times we didn't know where he was at all. So I'd have, there was an employee that worked here, and she would let me know. You know, I'd have people, friends all around the city that, hey, saw your son, he held the door open for me. Hey, I was in line at the store, and he said, you have more stuff than me. You go ahead of me. Like, he would give anyone the shirt off his back. I saw him one time, just off 20th Street, and I stopped to talk to him, and he went over and he literally gave someone in a worse position than him the last 2 toonies he had on him. Like, you know, and as a mom, like, what are you doing? And it's not that I don't have empathy at all, but it's like, you know, you got to take care of you. And this was a place where he could take care of himself. They helped him with that.
Well, thank you, Celeste, for sharing that, and my sincere condolences for the loss of Devan.
Thank you.
It's never easy to lose somebody that we know is battling battles that not everyone can see on the outside. A lot of people battle battles basically inside themselves that no one really knows anything about. And
a lot of people misconceive. They just think like it's a moral flaw or a choice, right? But I believe you do not have addiction without having some sort of mental health issue, because you wouldn't make those choices, right? If you were feeling, and that's what this is about, is, I mean, I drive by, I work right downtown, so I'm driving by the Salvation Army crossroads every day, and I'm by here, the center a lot, and I'm by, you know, I see the homelessness and the poverty and the drug use, quite frankly. I mean, now because of this place, I carry Narcan, right? I'm always, and I pray for these people when I see them, and as I drive by every day to and from work, like, my prayer to them is just, I hope you feel some love. I hope you feel valued by someone today, right? I hope you get a little glimpse of something to give yourself some hope, right? To try to make the best choices you can. And I truly believe that's what this event, everyone deserves to be pampered or made feel special, or, just taken care of a little bit, especially if they're not taking care of themselves. This is the day for them to just be made to feel really good about themselves.
Yeah.
I think what's important here in this situation is that Devan was a handsome, smart, athletically talented. He was an incredible soccer player. He had a family who loved him. Ironically, I discovered that his uncle actually coached my son in soccer.
Wow.
And he had an incredible mother who loved him, who is competent, who cared for him. He had everything that he needed, except the support with his mental health. And that's the gap here for so many people that we are dealing with. This is trauma-induced, mental health-induced. It's a symptom, and that needs to be addressed in our community, in our society, in our world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I truly believe the mental health struggles that people face is a pandemic in itself, quite frankly. And that's coming from that's coming from lived experiences myself. That's coming from a mental health speaker. That's coming from somebody who suffers with mental health challenges myself. See, a lot of people, if I can be honest with you guys, because you've all been honest with me, this past month have been constant struggles for my own mental health. Just who I am. There's a time for me for years that I've been this person speaking in front of audiences and stuff, and I thought the mental health just collaborated with my soul, back then, because the drugs and the addictions, those things are no longer a part of my life, but that those struggles at times, they still exist. They still land with me. And so, like you said, Celeste, that those things go hand in hand together lots of times, and people are just trying to find a way to live their lives as what they think that they need to do, basically. And so some people don't have those resources. Some people want those resources, but they just don't get them.
Well, also, Cody, the stigma, like, I know for myself personally, it took me until I was in my later 40s to address my own mental health with my doctor, and then trying to, encourage my own children, Devan obviously included, this is what I've done, this is what I'm taking, this is why I take it, this is, why I do the counseling, this is why I journal, this is, the reason for all these things. But so there's a bit of that guilt that maybe, I should have addressed my own mental health to teach them better sooner. But Devan was very blessed with having the best people in his life. There isn't a person that didn't love him, and tried to do all they could for him. Every single family member, every girlfriend, everyone here at the Friendship Center. It's something you got to dive in the deep end and deal with your mental health when you're ready. And unfortunately, sometimes people just are never ready.
Well, it is very unfortunate as well, too. It's years ago, bad batches of drugs weren't as common as they are as of nowadays as well, too. And that's another tough moment, because it's not only a person who's struggling all the time with addictions that have lost their lives as well, too. It's people that are going out for one night, getting hands on. So, and addictions, it doesn't discriminate, These choices and these things that land on us, unfortunately, don't discriminate. I've seen all races, all religion, all colors, all people of status of life struggle up and down, So it's not just one particular human being that unfortunately has to go through those situations at times. But I think these kind of conversations that we're having together today, I think the event that is coming here in the near future is going to be absolutely incredible. And I think more people are going to be helped this year than were last year. And that's not saying you guys didn't put in an amazing effort last year. I'm just saying the word is getting stronger. People are understanding that more resources, more help need to be officially, brought together.
I don't know where everyone's going to go this year, because it's like every inch of this center and outside, every inch was just full.
It
was.
We're applying for the street to be shut down.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some things in the street. And so Devan's uncle actually DJ'd, and he had live music, and he has a business, and Maori. And so he played incredible live music, and then people jammed. So we had people play the guitar, singing, doing their part. And we were self-contained in the front of the Friendship Center, but this year we're going to go out into the street more and, invite vendors to have booths and not so much as vendors, but community support people to get the word out, to do their outreach. We had a mental health therapist here, actually, that donated a bike that was given away. She's coming back. We had Eleanor Sunchild from Sunchild Law that donated 100 makeup kits. So she had gotten a mascara, a lip gloss, and a few pieces of makeup in 100 bags. So you could actually get a kit of some light makeup. And we had people putting on the makeup. And this woman, Hailey, I'm telling you, she has this ability to garner up support like I have never seen. And so I'm like, how did you do that? We all kept saying, how did you do that? And she's like, well, I just asked them. And I'm like, what? I swear, sometimes when you've been through things and you've had lived experience, you don't ask because you feel that people won't support you. But she just has this courage. And I mean, this gym was filled. There was 14 stylists and estheticians that donated their entire day. And we have haircuts, hairstyles, waxing. I thought, I don't even have time to take care of myself. I should get some services. And little mini manicures. And, we had wanted some diabetic foot care. And we wanted a few things. This year, we're actually confirmed there's going to be, I haven't even told you, a trans and 2S LGBTQ friendly makeup application and support booth. So for those folks that are also barriered and marginalized in our community who don't feel safe, we'll have some outreach and support for them for their aesthetic, needs. So it's growing. You're right, it is growing. And some of the vision that we had last year is coming to fruition this year. Yeah.
Like a thing that's new this year is we didn't have so many community organizations coming to provide their resources and whatnot. So this year that's going to be a huge part of it, because I think what is missing is that connection to those resources, because people don't know what's out there in our community for some help. And so we're hoping that street this year is just filled with booths from different organizations. I think we already have confirmed Choke Cherry Studios. The Library of Things is coming and doing games and stuff for the kids. We're going to contact plenty more, but Saskatoon is going to be here. We're hoping that street is filled with resources, and the amount of support we got from different or businesses in the community to donate silent auction items was quite phenomenal. And we had, who I had actually went to talk to was the students at MC College here. And if for those of you who don't know, MC College is a hairstyling school and an esthetician school. I actually went through there to get my hairstyling. And so we had, I think, 10 students from there show up along with a teacher and they really took the lead on that whole thing. And so we also had Chalk Salon come and bring a few people. And then a few different individuals who kind of worked on their own came and
my youngest daughter thinking she could just show up and cut hair.
And in the middle of it all, Devan's children were here and dancing and having an incredible time, and that was just it was like sometimes I was like, I can't even look at
Yeah.
baby here, you know, and
Yeah.
and the connections that we had and the people that we knew. And, you know, I know Devan's the baby mama's family. Like, I didn't know that. I like you know, his uncle came and who coached my son, and like the connections that we had, that we discovered were. I went to school with Hailey's auntie.
Yeah.
I graduated together. She's like, "Do you know my aunt?" I'm like, "What?" And then and she came, and she looks a bit like her, actually, and it was just weird, you know. The community came together, and it's true, we are all related, and the support and the love, like, because, you know, you work in this environment, like in the wake of Prairie Harm closing, you think of sometimes the haters out there, and there was just zero haters. Just zero haters. It was all love here. It was incredible.
Well, I'm definitely a firm believer that, you know, I'm going to get a little spiritual woo-woo here, but I believe the energy put out into the world's energy that can come back to you a lot of times too. And you guys doing this for the right reasons, the right purposes. There's a reason why that event last year was filled with nothing but love.
Yeah.
It's because that's where it came from.
Well, Hailey had the idea of having a memorial garden, so we were able to put up, you know, write up some pictures of people that we've lost to overdose. And even that, the amount of people, everybody from, you know, people that maybe, you know, addicted themselves, to someone, maybe straight business guy off the street, thinking that maybe does look down on marginalized people, you know. Everybody was stopping. It was amazing. Yeah, and really taking it in, you know, not just okay, whatever, you know, really reading those stories and taking it in and coming to understand, everybody is somebody, you know?
Yeah. It was the former office of the treaty commissioner, like the former treaty commissioner, Mary Culbertson, was out there barbecuing with Eleanor Sunchild and Eleanor's daughter, and, you know, it just... Everybody, we rented a bouncy castle from my stepson's classmate, who was 12 years old, and he has a business, a snow cone and bouncy castle. And we gave him $100, and we had a little bouncy castle in the parking lot for kids. And like every little piece of this was
everywhere,
just entrenched in community, and it was so lovely. And I just look forward to that this year, and actually I'm looking forward to the prizes the most, because like a dentist donated $2,000, like 4 $500 gift certificates for dental work, which we know when people are suffering from addictions, that dental work is really important, and they were part of the silent auction, but like, who does that? I mean, who cares that much, right? I was just amazed at the and every once in a while Hailey will send me a picture. I got this donated. I'm like, what? I just, how do you do that, you know? And so we welcome donations, big and small, and you know, I'd like to have some door prizes, and the Saskatoon Co-op is a partner of ours, and they're giving us some duffel bags this year, and they had a huge event, and they have these duffel bags left over, and so some of our unhoused relatives, they need those bags to carry their belongings, and so we'll be quietly, you know, giving those away to some of the people that we notice need a bag, and you know, we'll be doing a few more things for the children as well. I'd like to have a bike giveaway. We have a bicycle and a helmet that we can, you know, brand new, that we can have a draw for, and just different things to make people, and that's I think what it was, you know, when you have an event in the city, unhoused people are chased away. They're not welcomed. You know, the police are there, security are there, people are there shunning. And this event was a street party in their honor.
That's exactly what it was.
And everybody was welcome from every walk of life, and there was not one altercation or one incident, not one angry person. There was just pure joy, and it was just overwhelmingly incredible.
That's definitely beautiful. I know, Mary. Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I had a little delay on my end, but please continue, Hailey.
Oh yeah, it was just like seeing the smiles on people's faces after they had gotten those services, and hearing all the thank yous and smiles after they're getting a warm meal that some people maybe haven't even eaten in 3 days at that point, right?
Yeah.
And just seeing that just brought me to tears over and over and over again, because I know what it's like to be stepped over on the sidewalk, or to be shunned away, or to be looked down on, and just being able to provide that bit of dignity and love and support and make people feel valued and important was just absolutely so important and incredible to me. And so I'm really looking forward to that part again. And hearing some of the stories that people were offering while they were getting their haircuts, and stopping me aside to talk to me and tell me a little bit about their story. And you really don't know what someone is struggling with. And I just think I'm just looking so forward to this year, to see all those people walk through the door and walk out with a smile on their face. So.
I think that I know personally some of my friends and family that volunteered didn't expect to feel the way they felt in participating in something like that. I don't think they were sure what they were going to experience, and they were asking immediately, when's the next one? I can't believe that changed my life. I need to do stuff like that more. So that's good as well, right? That helps change people's mindsets.
Yeah. Well, and it's, one person that can come volunteer if they're kind of just coming by themselves. They have a family tree. They have colleagues of work colleagues, right? And it's not just one person leaving with a different perspective. It's a very good possible chance of dozens of people from that one person's perspective changing could also change dozens of people's perspectives, which is, a chainfall reaction of a lot of beautifulness of people understanding what somebody might be going through and the struggles that somebody might be going through. So another addition of why this event is such a powerful time together for sure. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm a little nose runny today, a little emotional this morning, I think. But it's a
Kleenex.
I think this event is already, from what I've seen, what I've heard, what I understand of it, I think it's already shaping to be as impactful as, as no one can truly understand how impactful it's going to be. I believe there's going to not only be hundreds, I believe there's going to be a good chance that there could be thousands, a couple thousand people show up to this event between volunteers, services, and people who could use some extra little help of hope in their life. And I love that. I'm so thankful that you three are here together today and chatting with us. I hope not for just the podcast to grow or anything. I just hope that this message, this episode just gets heard by hundreds, if not thousands of people before this event who, maybe 10% of those people who can help or want to help come and help one way or the other, whether it's services, donations, just getting the word out. That is my hope for today, for sure. And I think you ladies did an amazing job describing and sharing and just being real and authentic. And I think that's what this podcast needed today. So maybe if we can touch on maybe a message from each of you as we kind of near our closing remarks of our time together. Maybe Celeste, if you want to share a last few couple sentences or closing remarks of what our time together looked like today, or whether it's the event, your hopes, your plans, whatever it is.
I just hope the event continues to grow and do as well as it did last year. I'm looking forward to, for us personally as a family, it's another way to honor my son, right?
Yeah.
And I know he's looking down and loving every minute of it, honestly. Personally, I think if you are out there and you're dealing with someone who is battling addiction, don't enable. Once I stopped enabling, Devan and our relationship got 100 times better. Once I was honest about his addiction, he could become more honest about his addiction. And that took away some of the shame. And the second thing would be tell them you love them every single time. Everyone deserves to hear that they're loved. We had a saying, we have a saying in our family, love you more times 4. So tell them times 4, tell them times 400, 4,000, every chance you get, because you never know when will be your last time.
Thank you very much, Celeste. That's a beautiful couple touch points for sure.
Thank you.
And appreciate that a great deal. I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with what you just shared. So thank you. Hailey, would you like to share a couple, remarks here as we kind of near the end of our time together?
Yeah, I guess what I want to see more in this world right now is some compassion. And so recovery taught me that compassion can change someone's whole world. Sometimes, it's not like a treatment program or a speech or some life-changing moment, but someone who listens to you, someone who sees you as human, sees you as a human being and who believes you're worth helping can really set a difference in someone's world. And that's why a big part of why Haircuts for Hope matters so much to me. A haircut might seem really simple to some people, but it's really about dignity, connection, and letting people know that they matter. We all deserve to be seen as people and treated with dignity and respect, and we all deserve to feel valued in this world. And so I think we just need to open up our hearts a little bit for one another, because you really never know what someone is going through. And so that would be my message today, is show some compassion.
Thank you very much, Hailey. I appreciate that. And I'm very glad a friend of mine, like my best friend, Alan Kaler, introduced us together.
Yes,
and
I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for coming across paths, all three of you, truly. And I really look forward to seeing you guys in person that day of that event. Michelle, any remarks?
I think it's important, even for me to acknowledge that I have lived experience with this in a different way. I lost my mother when I was 13. She was drinking and driving and was in an accident and ultimately succumbed to that. She died. And I was put in foster care. And my siblings and I were placed in different homes. We lost contact with one another. And we spent the greater part of 27 years trying to get back to one another. And there were times when I didn't have a winter jacket or boots, or sometimes I was worried about my next meal, but I was so afraid of becoming addicted because of the addiction and mental health in my family, because my mom had died in a car accident while drunk. I stayed away from drugs and alcohol, and I became, an overachiever, which is often a sign of damage in a different way, And I'm open about that now because I recognize it. And people look at overachievers or workaholics like they are with a different level of respect than somebody that uses another substance or a vice to deal with trauma. And so, I'm out here on the front lines helping people every day with compassion and recognizing that I'm no different or any better than the next person. And when I am here at the center, I'll be talking and someone will say, "Michelle, is that you? Michelle?" Because I have a very loud and distinct voice. And it's people that I've taught, people that I grew up with, people that I graduated from grade 8 with, people that I've known since I was 5 years old, come to the center that are in need. And sometimes we have a big hug and we cry, and sometimes I'm really shaken up for a very long time after those encounters, because I sometimes think it's like being in the river on a piece of ice that cracks and someone falls in and you don't fall in. And you have that survivor's guilt. And so this is very emotional, for all of us, for different reasons. And I just implore people to think about that. Think about those people in their own families and think about themselves, that we all need support, and we all need connection, and we all need dignity. And do you want to be someone who makes the world a better place? Or do you want to make the world a worse place for others to be in? Yeah.
Every single one of us has those two choices, for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate that, Michelle, too, and that vulnerability. Thank you. I know a lot of people will resonate with that, too, myself included, about the overachiever. I'm a workaholic, so I can relate with that. But I've also been the drug addict that has prayed and begged for hope for me to turn over on the other side. So this is my better version of myself. I know that. So, but thank you. You want to talk about the connections, and sometimes they stay with you a little bit longer than, just a mutual small conversation. I don't know if you three ladies are familiar with a challenge called Sanctum Challenge. But I did the Sanctum Challenge in Prince Albert for the first year that we had last year. And so, of course, like I said, I've been in and out of addiction since I was 11 years old till like my mid-20s. I'm 32 now, so it's a long time that I associated my life with those. I was one of the participants in the Sanctum Challenge, and we were getting coffee in the morning at the Friendship Center in Prince Albert, actually, downtown. And I'm in line, and somebody walks by me that I haven't seen since I was about 14 or 15. And it's a gentleman that's been living on the streets for a few years. And I distinctively remember his face, because when I met him, 14, 15 years old, his cheeks were swollen, his eyes were swollen inside, very empty. There wasn't substance or sustenance to his health at that time. And I just remember that image being in my head since I've seen him 14, 15, and I came across him. And the past few years, he's still been in his hard drug addictions and his place of life. And the way I connected with him all those years ago is that a good friend of mine at that time had a cabin at the lake, and I used to go and drink and drug at this cabin. And so my friend's dad and this gentleman would smoke hard drugs together. And I always remember this person's face very distinctively. And I came across him at this time last year, and it just stuck with me that this gentleman's been living this life for so many years. And one of the things I took hardest from that whole event is that person has lived his life for so many years like this. But he goes unseen, unheard, unacknowledged probably so many times of his life, because he unfortunately is in a place that he's just getting through day to day, basically, unfortunately. So those moments, those situations stay with us, and we don't know why all the time, but I think there's something of these events coming together that hopefully those kind of stories of people maybe living in those circumstances can come on the other side of those moments of their lives. And my hope for this event is that more people will be coming on the other side of their struggles and their times in life that it might be tough right now. But I want to thank all three of you ladies once again for the work that you're doing, putting the event together, the conversations that you shared here today. All three of you have been very vulnerable, open, and real. And we also mixed in with a little bit of laughter, which is good medicine, as we all know, too. Thank you very much, ladies, once again. Do you guys have anything else that you'd like to close? Maybe a time, a place, what to expect? One more last kind of run around if somebody's listening. Oh, yeah, I can bring this at that time, that day. Anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, I guess so. The event will be held on August 30th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. At the Saskatoon Indian and Métis Friendship Center, which is 168 Wall Street in Saskatoon here. If you'd like to volunteer, maybe send a donation over. If you're a hairstylist that wants to partake in making people feel good about themselves, or maybe you have a silent auction item to donate, or maybe you're an organization that wants to get involved and share your resources. Maybe I can send you my email and you can link it or something like that. I'm not sure how that goes, but I guess I can say it right now. My email is haileyk.mc2021@gmail.com. Let's talk, let's connect, and let's come together as a community and make this thing happen. So yeah. Anything else?
And you can also contact the Saskatoon Indian and Métis Friendship Center, call the reception. They'll put you through to me, and we can have a discussion. You can drop things off, whatever that looks like for you. Whether it's a box of burgers,
Yeah.
A bottle of ketchup,
Yeah.
something, a bag of chips, whatever people have that they would like to contribute is valued.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No item too small or too big. No
Yes.
service too small or too big.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And Celeste, anything more that you want to touch on? I know we kind of went through a round of this, but I just want to make sure you guys get the space.
I just thank you for bringing,
Yeah.
awareness to this event, and for your honesty too, you know. I think that's the only way the next generation is going to be successful going forward, is by everyone being honest, raw honesty gets you the support that you need. It's hard, but it's, I know Hailey's done it, Michelle, myself, you find your people, and this is an event where you find your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Cody, thanks so much for having us on. We
Yes.
really appreciate it. Yeah, taking the time out of your day and having us on your podcast. Yeah.
And congratulations to you for your sobriety and your success,
Yes,
Cody.
absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. No, it's been a pleasure with all three of you. And like I said, I do look forward to, if it is not that day for whatever reason comes in my path between then, I know it one day will be a day that we'll get to cross paths, and I would love a big open hug from all three of you. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for the event that you guys are hosting and putting together. Thank you for the work, and I'm hoping that, like I said, this is going to be heard by a lot of people, because a lot of touch points, a lot of emotional, impactful stories were shared today. So once again, thank you, ladies, and every single person who is going to be listening, whether it's 5 people or 10,000 people. Thank you for giving us your time and your energy, and those are 2 of the most precious resources another human being can give to another human being. My name is Cody Demerais, and we had the privilege to share some stories with Hailey, Michelle, and Celeste. So thank you, everybody, and I hope everyone can make it August 30th. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.